And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the player introductions, first for the visiting Twin Town, number 7, Gabby Geis. Number 42, James Kinsella. Number 99, Landon Mullen. And now for the starting lineups, leading off, center fielder, number 12, Jack Sharon. The third baseman, number 14, Cole Mellon. The shortstop, number 18, Ethan Nardacci. Batting fourth, the starting pitcher, number 11, Tim Koval. The left fielder, number 24, Cam Van Sleet. The catcher, number 8, Ronan Kreshik. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 0, Declan Flanagan. The first baseman, number 10, Connell Devine. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 34, Wyatt Relaya. The coaches for Twin Town, John Flanagan and John Mellon, and the manager is Owen Devine. And now for Haverstraw, number 2, Jacob Niero. Number 3, Mike Gizzi. Number 16, Jack McCardle. Number 4, Matt Odenbach. And now the starting lineup, leading off, the starting pitcher, number 22, Nick Becker. The catcher, number 24, Jeff Diaz. The second baseman, number 10, Gabe Reyes.
Jaden is Jaden Torres, also another good player for Haverstraw. In fact, all these players are good players. They wouldn't have gotten this far. So the way it works, folks, is that both these teams, as well as the other 6 teams that were in the tournament, they had to win their districts. So these are all-star teams, and they win their districts, and then they go on to play the sectionals for a right to play here in the New York State tournament. Josue Santana is a center fielder, and he is one speedy fellow out there, and he anchors that. And soon we'll be doing the national anthem, and it's Peter Piro, excuse me, Peter Piro, a former Penfield Little Leaguer, and sings at Major League ballparks and is singing at the World Series next month. So let's take a listen to Peter Piro from Penfield.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That's Penfield's Peter Pirro, who played Penfield Little League and is currently the coach of one of the Little League teams here in Penfield. And again, he has been lucky enough to sing the national anthem at Major League ballparks. Now we're listening to the player
I
pledge.
trust in God. I love my country and will respect its laws. I will play fair and strive to win, but win or lose, I will always do my best.
I'll teach all children to play fair and do their best. I'll positively support all managers, coaches, and players. I'll respect the decision of the umpires. I'll praise the good effort despite the outcome of the game.
All right, so the player pledge, very important within Little League. We've got one for the players and, of course, one for the parents and spectators here at Penfield Little League. We are just waiting now, moments away from the start of this championship game between Haverstraw and Twintown. The winner will once again represent New York State in the Mid-Atlantic Regional Tournament, one step away from going to the Little League World Series under the Mid-Atlantic umbrella. Bob Moyo, who is the home plate umpire, is grabbing some baseballs for the beginning of this game, and Haverstraw will be taking the field very shortly. As we get into things, George, I can't even imagine the excitement. I talked to both managers before the game. They both said that they didn't get much sleep, and I can only imagine that the players probably didn't either.
You know, being here a couple times with both my boys, so a lot of strategy gets played out late nights with the other coaches while the parents and kids are having a good time or sleeping or eating or swimming in the pool. It's nice to be on this side of it, Greg.
Absolutely. It's a lot better. Those games that I've been in the coach's box has certainly been stressful. And I usually went through in a game like this, I would say probably at least a full bottle of Maalox.
So, noticing Jeffrey Diaz is the catcher today.
Yeah, Jeff is, he's played a lot of positions. He's certainly pitched, catching, and then I've seen him in center field as well as left field, and I think even first base.
Also second and short.
Okay, so he's played everything. As we set up the defense for you, we're looking at out in left field. We have Jose Olivo, number 6. He is in left field. Then we look at Jose Santana is in center field. And then out in right field for the Haverstraw team, we're looking at Torres is out in right field.
It's going to be interesting to see how Twintown handles Diaz at the plate. Yesterday it was intentionally walked twice, and the third time he got up with the bases loaded, they couldn't do anything with him, and he pounded one through the 5-5 hole and drove in 2 runs.
Absolutely. He's just a heck of a player. When they went down to Frontier Field to meet some of the Red Wing players, he asked one of the Red Wing players how much he could bench press. And Jake Reed, the pitcher for the Red Wings, said probably a heck of a lot less than he could. So here we go. We're about ready to go with the first pitch. Jack Sharon is the first batter for Twintown, and he is the center fielder for the guys in blue. Becker goes in through the motion, and the first pitch. It's a ball high to Sharon. Jack has played center field most of the tournament, as well as pitched a couple of games in relief. Becker deals. Strike. Strike call from Bob Moyo, the home plate umpire, who is a veteran of Little League umpiring and actually Little League in general as a coach as well before he retired. We got a ball on the outside corner. We've got 2 balls, 1 strike right at the top of this game, the championship game. Becker is the pitcher, and Sharon is in the batter's box. He's a right-handed batter. And he lines right to first base, and over at first base is Fabry, and he is the coach's son for Haverstraw. Cole Mellon, number 14, is the batter. He's the third baseman for Twin Town. We've got 1 out here in the top of the first.
Let's see if Mellon can keep it going from yesterday.
Mellon gets called strike on the outside corner. Becker also, he caught the game, part of the game yesterday for Haverstraw. 0-1 count. Now we're into an 0-2 count. Cole Mellon, the third baseman, and he stands in there in the right-hand batter's box, ready to go. As I said earlier, another tall young man. And we got a ball outside corner. We got a 1-2 count on Mellon. Becker winds and he deals. Outside. Caught by Jeff Diaz, the catcher. We got 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're just into this one for the championship of New York State here at Penfield Little League. Pop-up foul. Jeff Diaz goes back to the backstop, but it's over. And we remain with a 2-2 count and 1 out.
You know, Van Sleet playing deep and left. They must have watched a little bit of Mellon yesterday because he really pounded that ball into left field deep and hard yesterday.
Becker wheels and deals. Strike 3, swinging for Mellon. And we now have 2 down in the top of the first half. Haverstraw playing some good baseball so far. Becker on the mound for the team.
Great off-speed stuff there, really getting a hot hitter out on that.
Stepping in is Ethan Narducci. Narducci, he's the shortstop. He's had a pretty good series himself. He's been a spark plug for the Twin Town team. Wind blowing slightly out to left field today. Got a pop-up, and we got Jeff Diaz, the catcher, mask off, and the pitcher takes it himself. Nick Becker takes it, and we go down 1-2-3 in the top of the first inning, and it's no score, and we're going to have Haverstraw coming to bat, and we'll be back right after this break. We are back here at Zabkar Field at Penfield Little League for the New York State Little League Championship winner going on to Bristol, Connecticut for the Mid-Atlantic region. We're in the bottom of the first, and Nick Becker, the pitcher for Haverstraw, steps into the batter's box. He's a right-handed hitter. And on the mound for Twin Town is Tim Koval. Again, Tim's had some success here thus far in the tournament. He wheels. Ball on the outside corner, a little bit high.
Koval got a very smooth lefty delivery, and he comes from up top, which is going to be tough for the shorter players.
We've got a strike across the letters there for Nick Becker. If we look at the outfield for Twin Town, Van Sleet is in left, Sharon is in right, and Relia is in right. Sharon is in center. We've got Mellon at third. Narducci is playing shortstop. Flanagan is the second baseman. Devine at first, and the battery is Koval and Kreshik. 2-2 count on Nick Becker.
Big smile on Koval's face.
And he wheels. Foul ball off to the first base side behind home plate. A lot of fans here so far Looks like Haverstraw has certainly brought a number of fans up from the Binghamton area. Of course, the place was packed yesterday with Webster as Becker fouls off another one, staying alive. And we've got a 2-2 count with Becker in the batter's box. Again, now the wind has moved a little bit, blowing out to center field. Foul on the play off the shin pad of Rowan Kreshik, the catcher.
Koval's leaving it a little high here with his first batter.
Well, I would imagine he's got to be a little bit nervous. All these guys have gone through a lot of games to finally get here, and now they know they're just one step away from actually being on TV with ESPN covering all the regionals. Got a bunch of twos on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and number 22, Nick Becker, is the batter. He's the pitcher, and he's leading off here in the bottom of the first for Haverstraw. And the pitch. He lines it out to center field, but camped right under it is Jack Sharon, and we've got 1 down in the bottom of the first inning. Here comes Jeff Diaz, and Georgia looks, we'll have to see what they do with him. He's popped a couple over the fence, and he's just a great all-around player.
Interesting. It's going to be interesting to see Koval go at him here and what he's going to start off with.
Doesn't look like they're planning an intentional walk. The catcher's setting up high, and that's where they go with it, up around the neck area. Rowan Kreshik is the catcher, and he's once again, this kid's an Iron Man behind the plate. And the pitch, and we've got another fly ball out to center field. Jack Sharon, he gets called off by Cam Van Sleet, and we've got 2 down. Van Sleet was pretty much in line for that fly ball, and Jack Sharon was running over there, but Van Sleet took control, and we've got 2 outs.
Yesterday, South Shore decided they were going to throw Diaz off speed when they finally decided they wanted to throw at him. And it worked out. They kept the ball on the ground. This time, Koval went right at him, left it high, kept it in the park.
Gabe Riaz is the batter now, number 3. He's the second baseman. Where's number 10? He's got on some pretty flashy socks here with the blue, red, white, and blue, and a star, the all-star socks on for the Haverstraw team. 2 down. And the pitch from Koval. Strike on the outside corner. Once again, it looks like we're just trying to get some of the butterflies out for this first inning between Haverstraw and Twintown. Inside corner, that's called a ball, gets past the catcher, Rowan Kreshik.
First inning feeling out process. Yesterday, Reyes did a wonderful job keeping South Shore at bay. He came in after Diaz yesterday and he mixed it up, and Haverstraw was able to pull away.
And he deals another high one, a little bit over the head of the catcher, Rowan Kreshik, in the outside corner. So we've got 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs on Gabe Reyes, second baseman. Strong defensive player and a pesky guy on the bases as well. High again, and we've got a 3-1 count to Reyes. Again, it's a little bit cloudy here, although some of the players are wearing their sunglasses, and the pitch is low, ball 4. So Nick Becker, with 2 outs, offers up a 2-out walk to Gabe Reyes. And Jaden Quesada is the batter. He's the shortstop for this Haverstraw team. And he and Jeff Diaz seem to be the 2 team leaders when it comes to everything that this Haverstraw team is doing.
Jaden is up there looking to hit. He is not a fan of walking by any means, Greg.
And ball is high on the outside corner. In Little League, you cannot lead at this level, so Reyes is staying very close to the first base. You cannot lead until the ball crosses home plate. So in this case, there's no reason to hold a runner However, Koval, a lefty, is throwing from the stretch. Strike to Quesada. And Rowan Kreshik doesn't like the way that Reyes is leading off, and he throws on down to first base. Connell Devine grabs that throw. 2-1 count now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Jaden Quesada is the batter. Koval deals. Ball on the outside corner, and we move to a 3-1 count. 2 outs, and Reyes is on first base. Koval or Becker takes no chance in wasting any time, and he deals with a strike. We are now full count on Quesada with 2 outs. Becker in his motion, and he deals. A little bit low. That's a ball. So now we've got 2 outs and runners on first and second. Gabe Reyes is at second, and we have Jaden Quesada at first.
You can see Koval struggling with his location early, and we're getting a coach's visit coming out now.
So we've got the manager of the Twin Town team, Owen Devine, is out on the mound talking to his hurler. A couple other things you should know about how Little League Baseball is played. There is no leading until the ball crosses the plate. A pitcher can choose to throw from the stretch or the windup. It's his choice. And there is no balk in Little League Baseball. So a little bit of a difference from high school and college and, of course, the major leagues. Number 7, the right fielder, Jaden Torres, is waiting. And umpire Bob Moyle is going out to the mound and hopefully cutting this one short. Becker seems fine, and he's been spoken to by manager Owen Devine. And we'll go back to the action with Reyes on second and Quesada on first for Haverstraw.
Koval's got to need a little bit more of an extension off the mound and really push off that and stop leaving that ball up.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be coming down as much as he did before in other games. As Torres steps in with runners on first and second and 2 outs for Haverstraw. Ball gets by catcher Rowan Kreshik, and now we have runners on second and third. Two out in the bottom of the first inning here. Haverstraw. Torres takes another pitch up high, and we go into a 2-0 count. I'm sure Becker's just trying to work out the butterflies here in this first inning. Thus far, no damage, but there are runners on second and third for Haverstraw. Here's the pitch. It does get by catcher Kreshik, but Koval comes running in, and we've got the runner does not come in and score. On a wild pitch, you can score here in Little League. So any type of wild pitch that gets by, the runner has that opportunity to score. And Torres hits a little blooper to second base, and second baseman Declan Flanagan tosses it over to Devine for the out, and we are now done with 1 complete, and it is Twin Town nothing and Haverstraw nothing. Thanks for joining us here at the New York State Little League Baseball Championship in Penfield, New York. We're on Zabkar Field, and we'll be back real soon after this break.
Leading off the Twin Town, the pitcher number 11, Tim Koval. Play ball. The left fielder, number 24, Cam Van Sleep.
Van Sleet is the batter, and he is takes a strike. Out at second base is Tim Koval, who is the pitcher, had a double off the center field wall here at Zabkar. The walls are now 12 feet versus the original 4. And Becker throws one across to Van Sleet, and he is now in the hole. Koval again cannot lead off second base, but he's got some speed. And here's the pitch to Van Sleet, who goes down swinging. So we've got one down in the top of the second inning.
The catcher, number 8, Ronan Kreshik.
Here's Rowan Kreshik, the catcher. He's certainly the Iron Man of this Twin Town team, number 8. He steps in. He's a right-handed batter. And Becker deals outside. A wonderful catch by Jeff Diaz, who is again himself an Iron Man behind the plate. But Diaz has been able to play almost every position in this tournament. So he's a vital player for the Haverstraw team. And the pitch is outside. Diaz not too happy with his pitcher for missing on that one. We have 2 balls and no strikes. Kreshik bats right-handed. He's had a great tournament thus far. And he looks at a strike coming across the plate. Out in the outfield, you've got Van Sleet, Olivo, Santana, and Torres in the outfield for Haverstraw. A pop-up, it looks like it may go foul, and it does, into the stands over on the first base side, which is the Haverstraw side. Players getting back to their positions. And Becker takes a walk up to the mound and sets his defense, takes a look at it. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kreshik. Infielders are on the move. And the pitch, again outside. And certainly Becker is making Diaz work a little bit. And Diaz none too happy. He goes out to the mound to have a chat with his pitcher. Becker doesn't look too happy himself. I don't know if he injured himself on that or if he is okay. He's sort of checking things out. Looks a little bit slow. Looks like he might be in some pain, but he's going back to the mound and he's going to come back. The defense sets up as Devine at first, Flanagan at second, Nardacci playing shortstop. And the pitch. And Kreshik earns himself a walk. So with 1 down, we have runners on first and second.
The second baseman, number 0, Declan Flanagan.
And here's Declan Flanagan for Twin Town with runners on first and second. Becker wheels and he deals. Outside on the outside corner. Flanagan is the second baseman for this Twin Town team. He shows bunt, but pulls back. But umpire Bob Moyle still calls that one a strike, and we're at 1-1 with 1 out in the top of the second. Twintown is threatening here. On deck will be the big hitter, Connell Devine, who is their first baseman. And Flanagan takes another ball outside, 2-1. Things are a little bit slow. I think both teams still working out the butterflies till they really get into a groove here. Strike across the letters, and we move into a 2-2 count. Zabkar Field is looking fantastic as the head groundskeeper Mike Baxter has put together a wonderful, wonderful field for these kids to play on. And ball's outside, and we move to a 3-2 count for Declan Flanagan, the feisty second baseman for Twintown. 3-2. Nick Becker's thrown a number of pitches, and we'll get that pitch count for you between innings. And here comes the pitch. And strike 3, swinging. Looked like a breaking pitch comes across the plate, and Declan Flanagan goes down swinging. Still, we've got 2 outs and still runners on second and first base for the Twin Towns team. And number 10, Connell Devine, this is the coach's son, and the first baseman. He's up to bat. He's a left-handed hitter. And the first pitch is a ball to Devine. A lot of fans here at Zabkar Field. Seems to be getting a little bit more crowded as the game goes on. And the pitch down low on the inside. And we've got a 1-1 count. Little League Baseball has a number of pitching rules. No pitcher can throw more than 85 pitches in one game, and then he, of course, will need 4 days rest if he does hit that limit. There are certainly thresholds, which we'll get into as we move across the game here today. The pitch low and inside from Becker. Becker does not look too happy with himself as he slowly walks back to the rubber. 3 balls, no strikes on Connell Devine, the first baseman for Twintown. And the pitch, inside, it hit him. It hit Devine on the inside corner. Looks like it may have hit him in the arm. He looked fine, but now he just kind of jumped up in the air to show a little bit of pain. And we now have the bases loaded. So hit by pitch. Get someone on the base pass. We got first, second, and third for the Twintown team. And now the manager of Twintown, Jason Fabry, is out talking to his pitcher. Top of the second inning with 2 outs here. Twintown, their second time around in this game. Bases loaded, and Connell Devine is running around making sure that he's in good shape here. I'm not sure if he got hit on the knee or if he got hit on the arm. He jumped up a little bit when he got halfway down the line. Manager Fabry goes back to the dugout.
Greg, Becker seems to be struggling early, so he's throwing a little bit harder, which is causing his location to be off a little bit. Let's see if he can work out of this.
Up to bat is Wyatt Relia. He's the right fielder, and this kid's got a gun of an arm. You do not want to try stealing any bases away from him when he's out in right field. Becker delivers. Ball outside. Don't think Jeff Diaz liked that call. He set that one up, and he lingered there for a minute, trying to show home plate umpire that he thought that was a strike. Bases loaded. Twintown threatening. And we've got a strike on the corner.
Let's see if Haverstraw can work out of this the same way Twintown did here in the bottom of the first.
These kids are competitors, and they definitely know what's happening as we strike on Relia. Becker seemed to be getting a little bit stronger on that one. Relia is a right-handed batter, slightly closed stance. Ball again on the outside. You know, George, it seems as if Becker is, I don't know if he's afraid to come inside or what, but it seems like he's missing everything on the outside, regardless of whether it's a left-handed or right-handed batter.
I can see Diaz working out. It might be their strategy. Again, I just think he's throwing a little hard, which isn't helping his location, because Diaz, if you watch him, he's shuffling right after he sets up.
The 3-2 pitch to Relia. And it's a walk, and unfortunately for Haverstraw, Nick Becker walks in the first run of the ball game. Everybody moves up a base.
The center fielder, number 12, Jack Sharon.
And we've got a 1-0 game, Twin Town, over Haverstraw with 2 outs here in the top of the second.
Top of the order also.
Absolutely. Jack Sharon is the center fielder, and he's up to bat now with the bases loaded. Again, Becker misses on the outside. A lot of frustration showing on these kids, but again, that's part of the ball game. Sharon, again, slightly closed stance, and he takes a strike.
Diaz set up on the outside corner again, and this time he hit it.
The Haverstraw infield playing back. All the infielders on the edge of the grass. And a breaking ball. Sharon hits it to second base, and Reyes tosses over to his shortstop, Quesada. And we get the force out at second base, ending the top of the second with a score. Twin Town 1 and Haverstraw coming up to bat in the bottom of the second. Becker had 31 pitches that inning, and he's at 43 for the game. We'll be back with the bottom of the second inning right after this. And we are back at Penfield Little League, Zabkar Field at the Penfield Little League Complex, attached to Penfield Town Hall. We hope you listeners from outside the area are enjoying both the action of the game and the excitement that is in the final of the New York State Little League Championship.
Let's see if Koval can start locating here. Haverstraw was down early yesterday to South Shore, so a 1-0 score isn't going to really affect their approach here.
Absolutely. These guys have fought back a number of times in the tournament, and they've got some dynamite in those bats, so we'll have to see. J.J. Olivo is in the left-handed batter's box for Haverstraw as we start the bottom of the second inning. And Tim Koval still on the mound for Twin Town, taking in a 1-0 lead into this inning. He wheels and deals, and we've got a ball on the first pitch.
Lefty-lefty matchup. Let's see where Koval goes with this.
Koval pitching from the stretch, and he deals. Strike to J.J. Olivo. The outfield sets up shading slightly to right field, not as much as you would think for a left-handed hitter. And right now there's not much wind as J.J. Olivo fouls one off. It is an overcast day here in Penfield. We've had an absolutely beautiful weather for the tournament all week. It's been sunny, and temperatures have been in the 70s, and yesterday we actually got into the high 80s, even 90. So today's a little bit of a respite. Slightly humid, but the sun is not out with an overcast sky. It's actually pretty pleasant here right now. No breeze is blowing on the field. And Koval wheels and deals. Olivo reaches for one and fouls it over the third base dugout, which is occupied by Twin Town.
Koval's tried outside the last 2 pitches. Olivo's been able to foul him off and keep battling here. To see Koval go inside here.
And Colville with the pitch. And takes down Olivo swinging on an inside pitch. So for the first out of the inning, that's a strikeout for Colville. And up to bat now is Nick Fabry. He is the manager's son and the first baseman for Haverstraw. A big boy at number 21 from the right-hand side of the batter's box.
Nick and I had a great conversation yesterday up on the hill, and he's talking about the progression of their team and how every year they got it one step further.
Well, this could be their year. They certainly have the team for it as Colville deals a strike to Fabry. This one, the outfield seems to be straight away for Fabry coming from the right-hand batter's box as he swings and gets strike 2. So 1-2 count from Fabry. Colville seems to be getting a little bit more comfortable out there on the mound after that first inning jitters. Up high, and we're at 2-2. His father, Jason Fabry, is down in the third base coach's box. Colville delivers, ball on the outside.
Just missing out there, just missing.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the second inning. And Fabry pops one to the second baseman. That's Declan Flanagan, who takes it with one hand as he steps back a little bit off the infield. And we now have 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Kreshik goes out to talk to Colville as Joe Saviano steps into the batter's box, number 11. Actually, Saviano takes a ball on his first plate appearance for Haverstraw. 2 down now. Colville seems to be a little bit more in control in this inning. Whatever Kreshik went out and said to his pitcher seemed to be working as he's dealt with a strike here.
It was probably, let's have some fun.
I would hope so. With Little League, I mean, you know, the competition gets so tough and the kids get tense. Certainly their parents get tense, but it's still a game, and we hope they have fun. As Colville lets one really rip and gets by Kreshik. I think, George, that's the main thing. I mean, I know we get into competition and such, but we just got to remember they're still kids, and they're here to have fun.
It is a sport, and if they're not having fun,
2-2 count. Joe Saviano, who takes strike 3 looking, and that ends the inning for Haverstraw. So we move into the top of the third inning with the scores remaining: Twintown 1 and Haverstraw nothing. Colville had 17 pitches that inning, and his cumulative is 42. And we'll be back with the top of the third inning momentarily. We are back in Penfield at the New York State Championship game for the 11 and 12-year-olds. All the best teams from New York State were here all week, and Cole Mellon hits one down to third base, and third baseman Joe Saviano takes the grounder.
Yeah, Joey did a great job with that tough hop.
We are already 1 down here in the top of the third. Ethan Nardacci is the batter. He's the shortstop for the Twinstown team.
Nardacci, the second of the back-to-back homers for Twintown yesterday in the first inning versus Webster.
impressive display of power with those two kids. Breaking ball, and he gets Nardaci swinging, and we're even at 1-1. Ground ball to shortstop. And tough play.
Quesada fielded that one deep in the hole and tried flat foot throwing it across. Just left it up a little bit.
Yeah, Quesada's got some speed over there at short, and he was able to get it, but not quite in time to get the runner. So Nardaci is at first base. Here's Koval again. Hopefully he can help himself here. He's a left-handed hitter. Nardaci at first base. One down.
Diaz with a great job at saving a pass ball there.
Becker's pitch is outside. 2 balls, no strikes on the opposing pitcher, Tim Koval. Jeff Diaz requests a new baseball to be thrown out to his battery mate, and umpire Bob Moyo complies. Strike on the outside corner. Becker now. 2 balls, 1 strike against Koval. Outfield is shaded slightly to left field. Again, a little bit interesting for a left-handed batter that they're doing that. And Koval fouls one right off home plate.
Becker's really working away to Koval here. First 4 pitches, every one of them has been out, away, away, away.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Koval hits one to right field, but the right fielder slips. Torres slips going back on that one, and we've got runners at first and second now. It looked as if Jaden Torres definitely had a lock on that ball, but when he went to turn, he seemed to slip, and the ball went over his head. But luckily, the center fielder, Santana, was out there backing him up, which is really important that you have backup plays. Little leaguers need to learn about the backup. And coming up to bat now is Cam Van Sleet.
They had Koval played right. Unfortunately, just a little bit of a slip.
So now runners at first and second for Twin Town. Left fielder Van Sleet up to bat. And Becker delivers. Another breaking ball, but it comes in across as a strike. He had Van Sleet thinking fastball, but a breaking ball came in there and he jumped out of the way of that one. We're in the top of the third, 1-0 Twin Town. And it goes right in front of the plate, and Becker gets the ball and throws out Van Sleet. So there's now 2 outs, but the runners do advance.
Becker did a great job there, just taking the out, getting it to 2 outs. His infield was helping him with that. Great job by Haverstraw there.
So now Nardaci is at third, and Koval is at second base, 2 down. And the catcher, Rowan Kreshik, comes up for Twin Town. He hits the first pitch to shortstop, and Quesada fires across the infield for the out, and the threat is over in the top of the third. So we move into the bottom of the third inning with the score Twin Town 1, Haverstraw 0. And we're back here at Penfield Little League in the championship game between Haverstraw and Twin Town. Twin Town taking a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the third. We've got some replacements. Gabby Geis has gone into second base for Declan Flanagan. And Landon Mullen has gone into left field for Wyatt Relia. Up to bat now is number 18 for Haverstraw, and that is J.J. Olivo. Actually, it's Hosea Santana. The shortstop is up to bat.
See if Haverstraw can get a couple guys on here with Diaz being the third batter of the inning. It's 9 and top.
Three 0 is the count. Twintown manager making some substitutions in this inning, getting some of his play in. And we move to a 3-1 count with Hosea Santana, the speedy shortstop. He hits from the right-hand side of the box, wearing the old-fashioned stirrups. And he earns himself a walk. Runner on first base. Nick Becker is now the batter. He's the pitcher. Runner on first base. He misses. 1-0. Starting to hear a little bit of cheering from the Haverstraw dugout. It's been kind of quiet here. Very quiet crowd at Zabkar Field, and Becker rips one deep into center field, and it's over the head of the center fielder, Jack Sharon. And Becker earns himself a double, helping himself out.
And here we go.
No outs, and now Haverstraw has runners on second and third.
Yesterday, Mr. Diaz came up with runners on second and third, and they intentionally walked them. Let's see what Twintown does here.
That will be interesting as we take a look at this now. Kreshik is asking the umpire a question.
And there it is.
And there's an intentional walk. There's the walk that we've all been expecting. So Diaz gets the intentional walk to load the bases with no outs. And here comes number 10, Gabe Reyes, who is the second baseman.
And guess what, Greg? Gabe Reyes has made them pay every time they've walked Diaz to get
every single time. So the Twintown strategy follows with the strategy of all the other teams that they've played. Bases loaded. Outfield is fairly deep for Reyes. Slight wind blowing to left center field. Reyes takes a good cut and fouls it off onto the first base side. We have Diaz at first, Becker at second, and Santana is at third. Once again, hanging in there. Reyes fouls another one away. It's 0-2.
He's doing a great job here at staying alive.
Koval's pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. And he gets it over to Geis, and the throw is wild, and a couple of runs are going to come in for Haverstraw. So Becker scores, as well as Santana. So now we have a runner at first base, and time is being called out for the manager, Owen Devine, to come out and talk to his pitcher. Tried to get for a double play on that last play, but some aggressive running and also a poor throw on Geis's part.
Yeah, Diaz did a great job at sliding into the bag at second and disrupting just enough to slow down that throw over to first.
So they got Koval is on the mound, and his manager is talking to him. Manager Devine only has another opportunity to visit the mound, and if he does, he has to replace his pitcher. So it looks like he's going to keep. Looks like Koval's going to stay in the game. And we've got no outs, but the outs are wrong on the scoreboard. So we definitely have an out from that play where 2 runs scored. So it's a 2-1 game now with Haverstraw still batting.
It's an interesting defensive strategy by Twin Town with the bases loaded. They may have had a shot at cutting down that run at home and keeping a 1-0 lead if they had that infield in.
Jaden Casada is up to bat now, and his buddy Reyes is at first base. 1 strike, and the ball gets away from catcher Kreshik, and Reyes speedily runs down to second base. Seems as if the crowd may be starting to get into the game. Koval towing the rubber, trying to fix some of the clay in there and the dirt to get a good position for his next pitch. The pitch to Casada is low for a ball. 2-1 is the count. Ball on the outside.
Koval seems to be rushing a little bit here. He's got to understand, as a pitcher, he controls the pace of this game.
And the pitch from ground bouncer just past second base, and the throw comes into home plate, which allows Quesada to run down to second. So now we have runners at third and second. And coming now up to bat now, Jaden Torres, the right fielder for Haverstraw. We've only got 1 down here in the bottom of the third.
Twin Town once again playing straight up defense, regardless of where the runners are.
Koval's pitch, high. The Haverstraw crowd seems to be picking up now for sure, as we've got lots of parents sitting between home plate and the dugout here on Zabkar Field. Koval's pitch, sharp liner, grounder down to third base. And a little bit of a rundown, and Reyes gets in from the throw from Savignano. Was late. Savignano ran him to home, which is sort of a sin in Little League. You always want to run the runner back to the base that they came from, not to the base they're going, which is what happened there. And Reyes got in under the tag of Kreshik, and we're now 3-1 Haverstraw.
Yeah, Greg, ground ball to Mellon, the third baseman. He caught Reyes off the bag at third. Clearly, he didn't have to go anywhere, but he caught him far enough away to run him down. Just threw it a little high to the catcher, and he was able to slide in under the tag.
Jack McCardle is the batter. One ball, 1 strike to McCardle. McCardle's hitting for Olivo. And we'll see if he stays in the game. And he pops one over the infield, out to the outfield. And what a catch. Are they going to call it a catch or not? The umpires are looking at each other. And it looks like they're going to confer here. Time is out. We've got some confusion on the field. The umpires are going to confer. It looks as if the Haverstraw run will score. And the runner from third is out. So we've got 3 outs, but the run counts. So we've got a 4-1 ball game here. Well, we'll try and explain that play to you. That's a new one even on us. The run does score, but there was an appeal at third base causing the out. And it seems as if the Twin Town manager, Owen Devine's even asking what the heck happened there.
Yeah, I guess the runner left early. He left before the catch was made in center field.
Which let's not lose sight of that fact. That was a heck of a catch by Jack Sharon. So we are going to the top of the 4th inning, and Twintown will be coming up to bat.
I believe umpire Moyo was saying because it's not a force out and it is an appeal, the runner scored at home first before the out was made at third, therefore the run counts.
Right, and I think what they're saying is that the runner on second base did not properly tag, and therefore the appeal process and the run scores, but the runner is out. So as we move into the top of the 4th, Gabby Geis will be the first batter for Twintown. She replaced Declan Flanagan in the field, and looks like she's going to get her first shot at bat here today on Zabkar Field.
Yesterday, Gabby came in and with 2 runners on, hit a beautiful single in the right center field and scored both those runs.
She is she's feisty as well. It seems as if the second baseman from both teams are true leaders of what they're doing and leading their teams. The umpire is still discussing this with now both the coach and the manager of Twin Towns. And meanwhile, Gabby Geis is waiting patiently to get into the batter's box. It looks as if Nick Becker is ready to go. Jeff Diaz is behind the plate, and he's ready. Becker is throwing some extra warm-up tosses to his second baseman, Gabe Reyes. And it looks like now we're ready to go. Gabby Geis is the hitter.
Second baseman number 7, Gabby Geis.
Great to see some girls playing Little League Baseball on the baseball side. Webster had a heck of a player in Bella Finale, who she was just tremendous through the entire districts and sectionals. 1 ball on Gabby Geis for Twintown. The Haverstraw outfield playing slightly a little bit more shallow than they were, which gives the alleys a little tightness for Gabby Geis. And a 1-2 count to Geis. She wears number 7 and has long hair and a ponytail covering up that uniform number 7.
Becker seems to be locating his fastball even better here in the 4th.
And Geis takes strike 3 as she swings at a pitch that was a little bit outside. And we've got 1 down in the top of the 4th.
Number 42, James Kinsella, pinch hitting for Twintown.
Pinch hitting now is James Consuela. He wears number 42, of course Jackie Robinson's number. And it's retired in Major League Baseball, but still in use within Little League.
Becker is looking strong here in the 4th, Greg. He's thrown nothing but fastball so far, and he's really hit his spots.
Ball on the outside as the wind picks up here at Zabkar Field. The flags out in center field, both the American and the Little League flag, are completely straight out as the wind is blowing from right field across to left field. Kansula is right-handed batter. And he's in the hole 0-2, excuse me, 1-2, as we've got 1 out here in the 4th. Becker's pitch gets by catcher Jeff Diaz. It seems like that play, George, in that last inning sort of, I don't know what it did, but it seemed to slow things down a little bit. I think both teams may be a little bit confused, and it's affecting them.
It's confounded everyone so far. It was the right call.
And the 2-2 pitch is fouled off by Kansula.
Becker seems to really want to take charge of this game right here. He's looking to sit Twin Town down here and take a 4-1 lead into the bottom of the fourth.
And Becker's pitch. Strike on the outside corner, and Kansula takes that looking. None too happy with umpire Bob Moyle's call, but nonetheless, it is a strike.
Becker's just going at these three batters with straight fastballs. Hitting spots, not hitting the same spot twice, and it's working.
Now hitting will be number 99, Landon Mullen, and he is number 99, and now a special ball gets put into play. Landon has a visual impairment, and under Little League rules, he gets to use a yellow Optiball that is made by Rawlings, and the pitcher will pitch the yellow Optiball, which is put into play by the umpire, and then once Landon is done, that ball will once again be taken out of play. So it's a great thing that Little League does, and it's a sanctioned rule, so it is allowed. And all tournament long, Landon has had that opportunity, and the yellow ball has been put into play.
Landon did a great job yesterday. He was down 0-2, was able to put a ball in play, and beat the throw to first.
And he rips one into center field, and it is not caught. Santana thought he had that one, but it did drop. And now Landon Mullen finds himself on first base. Everybody seems to be thought first we had an injury there with Santana, but he seems to be fine. And Landon Mullen is at first with 2 down. And as we just discussed, the yellow Optiball is now taken out of play as Jack Sharon, the center fielder, steps in on the right-hand side of the plate. And Becker throws ball 1 to Sharon.
If Sharon can find his way on here, we've got a big bat coming up. Cole Mellon sitting on deck. He had the 2-homer variety yesterday.
Another ball in the outside corner. 2-0 to Jack Sharon, center fielder for Twin Town. He's had a really good series. Looking to help his team out right now with Landon Mullen over at first base. Once again, the outfield shaded a little bit to the left as Becker into his motion and throws. And it's called a strike, so we are at 3-1 to Jack Sharon. Gotten quiet here, George, once again. Just, seems even the fans might be a little tense.
I'm just excited.
It is ball 4.
This is going to be a big spot in the game right here.
On the inside corner to Jack Sharon. So Jack earns his way to first base, and Landon Mullen moves on to second base. So runners at first and second with 2 out. And as George said, the big hitter Cole Mellon, the third baseman, comes into the batter's box.
Becker's been throwing fastballs, and he opens up Mellon with the breaking ball.
Interesting. My guess is he knew Mellon's probably looking for the first pitch fastball. And a bouncer on the outside of the plate gets by Jeff Diaz, and each of the runners move up. And now Mellon has the opportunity to get 2 runs in, but first base is also open now. Landon Mullen is at third, and Jack Sharon is the runner at second. Mullen at third and Sharon at second. Mellon is the batter.
So Becker has worked an off-speed and 2 away pitches so far to Mellon. At 2-1 though, you do have a base open. You don't have to. You can be cute and nibble here. You do have a base open.
Ooh, close pitch there. A little too close for me to take, but Cole Mellon said he wasn't going anywhere with that one. 3 balls, 1 strike. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Runners on second and third. And Mellon takes a strike. Now it gets a little bit more tense here as we have 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Third baseman Cole Mellon is the batter with runners on second and third. Oh, strike 3 on the outside corner, and Mellon totally disagrees with the umpire. And apparently some of the coaches in the Twintown dugout also disagree. So we are now through 3.5 with the score Haverstraw 4 and Twintown 1. We'll be back right here to Penfield Little League and Zabkar Field. Glad to be back with you, Greg Camp and George Talupas at Penfield Little League and Zabkar Field for this last final championship game between Haverstraw and Twintown. And it looks like we're going to have a change. Looks like we'll have a new batter for Haverstraw. That's number 4, Matt Odenbach. Matt is, he's a gamer. He's a kid I really like a lot. He pitches and just really a serious kid on the mound and just got all the motions. And looks like a ball player, and he certainly acts like a ball player as well. Koval still on the mound for Twintown. George, does that surprise you that Koval's still out there?
No, he's really settled down after the first inning. It's at 4-1. Just keep your team in it. Let's see if the bats can get hot.
And the pitch to Odenbach. Bouncer goes right back to Koval. Koval grabs it and throws, but the first baseman, Connell Devine, drops it. So Mr. Matt Odenbach finds himself on base.
With a big smile on his face.
That'll be an E first baseman, or for the first baseman. Number 2, Jacob Nero will come into the game as a hitter.
Let's see if Haverstraw is going to go with a small ball philosophy here and see if they can manufacture one. They are.
Nero squares to bunt, and Kreshik tosses one down to first base, trying to get Odenbach. He's back safely. Koval's pitch, a little bit low, but we got a swinging strike there. Here's the pitch from Koval. And Nero fouls that ball off. You've got 2 speedy runners in there with Odenbach on first, and you've got Nero at the plate. And both those guys represent some speed for Haverstraw. Nero, ground ball to second base. Gabby Geis grabs it, does a little side hand toss.
Gabby did a great job attacking that baseball there, getting it out of her glove, getting it over to second quickly, and taking the lead runner out of play.
So we've got 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Another new batter. This is Mike Gizzy. And he comes into the game for Haverstraw, and he squares around, but fouls it off. Now we've replaced first base is Nero, as Odenbach was out on that force-out ground ball to Gabby Geis.
The last 2 Haverstraw batters squared the bunt early. Their approaches are interesting, to say the least.
Absolutely. I don't know what it is with manager Jason Fabry. As I mentioned, these three guys, the first Odenbach, who's no longer on the base path, but Nero and Gizzy, these are three fast runners. I don't know if that's part of the plan to get his speed out there before the big hitters come in. Koval's pitch. Another one that's fouled away. Brightening up a little bit here at Zabkar Field. Sun not completely out, but overcast skies, but getting a little bit brighter. Slight breeze blowing to left. Michael Gizzy is the batter for Haverstraw. And he takes a pitch on the inside. He backed off that one, but that was strike 3. So Gizzy goes down on strikes. So now we have 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th. And number 22, Nick Becker, comes back up to the bat. And let's see with the runner on first if he can help himself out a little bit more. Nero is on first as Koval deals and throws strike 1 to his counterpart, Nick Becker. Koval's pitch, Becker takes it off to left, but out in left field. Looked like, I think that was
At the end of the 4th inning, Haverstraw leads Twintown 4-1.
Cam Van Sleet slipped, but he did end up catching that ball for the 3rd out. And we now move into the top of the 5th inning with the score, Haverstraw 4 and Twintown 1. And we're back here at Zabkar Field in Penfield with Twintown coming up to bat. The first batter is the shortstop, and this is Ethan Nardacci. Nardacci, as we said earlier, is having a great series, and he takes the first pitch and pops it up into left center field. And Santana camps underneath it, and we've got 1 down in the top of the 5th inning.
Nicky Becker is really taking control of this game.
We'll get his pitch count as soon as we can for you to see where Becker is on his pitch count. Here's Tim Koval, his counterpart, and Koval takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Koval's a left-handed batter. He participated in the home run derby and popped a few out there, so he's definitely got some power. He gets a slight foul ball to down the first baseline, but foul. And Fabry picks it up and tosses it back to Becker. So Becker is at 80 pitches currently, so he's got about 5 more to go before he needs to be taken out of the game. Ball on the outside. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the limit for any one pitcher in one day is 85 pitches. But now he'll get 4 days rest, and that's certainly in the cards as the next tournament does not start until the first week in August as Koval fouls one off. So the winner of this game will go on to Bristol, Connecticut, and that's where the regionals will be played, the Mid-Atlantic regionals, even though this is the Eastern region. New York State plays in the Mid-Atlantic region for the World Series. So the winner's got some time off between now and the time they need to be in Bristol. Ball on the outside corner. We've got a 2-2 count on pitcher Tim Koval. Becker moving his way up there. This could be his last batter. And he strikes out his counterpart, Koval, and that's strike 3. So we've got 2 outs now, but I believe that was Koval started with a soft count on that one.
Yep, 85.
So he's at 85 pitches. And here comes manager Jason Fabry out of the mound.
Just a sensational job by Nicky Becker. 4-1, he's gone 4 2/3 after a shaky first inning. He looked great.
Yeah, excellent outing for Nick Becker. Manager Jason Fabry out there on the mound, and we'll see kind of what moves take place here. If Becker's going to stay in and go somewhere else, or if he's coming out. Looks like he's walking the walk into the dugout. We'll see if he's just changing gloves or if he's going to be taking a seat. He gets a big round of applause from the Haverstraw fans, and it looks as if Becker is going to be done for the day. New pitcher on the mound is number 20, Jaden Casada, and he's also pitched in this tournament so far and had some good outings. So it looks like if Diaz will remain behind the plate, and Casada will come in there as the pitcher of record.
Now, he does have some off-speed stuff here, and it'll be interesting to see how he works this first round. The last time I saw him, he went through a lineup with nothing but off-speed stuff. The second time through the lineup, he mixed everything up.
Well, he's a smart pitcher, and I know that Jason Fabry really knows how to handle his pitching staff. It's been sort of remarkable watching him throughout this tournament and how he's handled the pitchers. It's not that easy, George, when you've got the various thresholds and you've got to play tournaments. It's double elimination. You may have a game the next day. You may not. It's a lot of strategy.
Yep, and implementing the you can't pitch in more than 3 consecutive days rule is a lot to work out.
To be a manager now in Little League, you need to be a strategist, I guess, which is sort of the thing that's happening throughout baseball. So Casada's on the mound, and he's going to face his first batter, is number 24, the left fielder, Cam Van Sleet. And so far in this game, Van Sleet has struck out and hit into a fielder's choice. And he started us off with a breaking ball, George.
Well, it's going to be his strategy. Let's see what he comes out with here again.
In the second inning, Van Sleet went down swinging.
Van Sleet made a wonderful play in left field to end the half inning there. Slipped, kept his eyes on the baseball, got up and made the play.
And there we go. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. And we're starting to get down to it here. And once again, another breaking pitch, and Van Sleet reaches for it, but just gets enough to foul off that pitch.
3 of the first 4 pitches were curveballs.
Fastball right down the center of the plate, and Van Sleet takes it looking, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. So we move into the bottom of the 5th with a score: Haverstraw 4 and Twintown 1. 5 pitches for Jaden Casada on the inning. We'll move into the bottom of the 5th, and we'll be back right after this short break. Welcome back to Penfield Little League. Greg Camp and George Talupas bringing you all the action of this final game of the New York State Little League Championship Tournament, with Haverstraw in the lead 4-1 over Twintown. Haverstraw's been there before. They've sent teams to states in the past, and this team, they're 10 and 11 years old, were a good ball club, and they certainly have been in the thick of things before. This is the first time ever for Twintown. They have never been to a states, and now obviously this is their very first final in the state championship. And for Twintown, Tim Koval is still on the mound. We'll get a pitch count on Koval, see where he is to see as we look at the bottom of the 5th inning. Jeff Diaz, they decide to pitch to him, and Jeff hits a towering fly ball to left field, and Cam Van Sleet grabs it for 1 down. Tim Koval is at 82 pitches on the day, so he will be batting to number 10, Gabriel Reyes. And Koval may get a soft count on this, which will allow him to pitch past 85 for this batter, depending on what happens. 1 out in the 5th inning. Gabe Reyes, he was walked in the 1st inning. walked in the third inning. Some speed on the bases. Second baseman for Haverstraw. He's a right-handed batter wearing those all-star socks that you can't beat, you can't miss Gabe at all. Colville's pitch. Strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ball high. Colville is wasting no time. He's not thinking about anything else but getting that ball over the plate on the next pitch. Ooh, strike on the outside corner. Gabe Rios a little bit surprised with that one, not happy. And we move into a 3-2 count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And strike 3. Colville gets him. And we've got 2 down. So that is, by our count, that is the limit for Tim Colville. So here comes manager Owen Devine out. And, you know, once again, only 4 runs led up in this game. And Mr. Colville deserves a slap on the back for that one. An excellent outing for Colville.
Tim Colville came out and was asked to hold down the #1 offense in this tournament, and he did just that.
Absolutely, George. I mean, you know, what's interesting, as you mentioned, I mean, Haverstraw has just been a really powerful team throughout the tournament, and Colville did an excellent job holding them to 4 runs only. I mean, we've seen Haverstraw pop up as many as 16, 17 runs in this tournament, and to hold them to 4, that is quite the feat. I'm sure Mr. Colville doesn't look at it that way because his team is down 4-1, and he's took the long walk into the dugout, but he's back out there now. Looks like he might be staying out, playing a new position. And now coming to the mound is number 14, Cole Mellon. And Cole, he's pitched a couple of games for Twin Town in this tournament. He's a big, tall, strapping right-handed pitcher. He has a high leg kick, and he chooses, for the most part, to start from the windup. A lot of the pitchers decide to either go from the windup or the stretch, but Cole is someone who chooses to go from the windup. Once again, I tell you what, the Twin Town teams, there's some tall guys, and a little intimidating out there on the mound. Colville will stay in the game at first base, and it looks as if Devine will come out of the game.
Cole's going to be working through the meat of the order here.
Jaden Casada, the pitcher, is now the batter for Haverstraw, and he hits the first pitch right up the middle. A fast grounder that went over the mound and over second base. And with 2 outs, Haverstraw has their runner aboard in Jaden Casada. Up to bat now is Jaden Torres, number 7. And Torres has grounded out to second base. And he also hit a single to left field in the 3rd inning. One ball, no strikes, as Mullen comes across with strike 2. Mullen wastes no time as well. Him and Colville are not wasting time throwing pitches into home plate. And now we've got 1 ball, 2 strikes. And once again, Mullen is held up by umpire Bob Moyle in the timeout. And now he's giving him the okay to throw, and he does. And it's a strike. Strike 3 to Mr. Torres, and that will complete the 5th inning. So after 5 complete, the score Haverstraw 4 and Twin Town 1. As we move into the top of the 6th inning, which could be the last chance for this Twin Town team. And of course, manager Owen Devine brings the whole team in a huddle right outside the first base dugout. We'll be moving into the top of the 6th inning, and the number 6, 7, and 8 batters will be up for Twintown. And we'll see if number 20, Jaden Casada, is still the pitcher for Haverstraw. And it looks like it is as he's strolling out to the mound. Once again, looking like it's getting a little bit brighter here at Zabkar Field. Penfield Little League would like to thank all of the sponsors who helped put on this tournament. This is the first year out of 3 years that Penfield Little League will host the New York State Little League Championship Tournament, where all the teams from New York State will convene right here in Penfield, New York for the next 2 years after this one. And they'll be sending the champion of New York State off to Bristol, Connecticut, and a chance to play in the Little League World Series, which is every player's dream. I would even venture a guess that it's even a manager and coach's dream. I know it was for me to potentially get to the Little League World Series. So we'd like to thank all the sponsors who have helped us out. Harris Beach Law Firm helped out with a number of things. RDG and Partners were great sponsors for us, as well as the Penfield Business Chamber, the Legacy at Willow Ponds, the Penfield Democratic Party, and Canandaigua Driving School all helped in putting on this tournament for Penfield Little League. So a huge thank you. So we start off the top of the 6th with the number 6 batter. He's number 8, Rowan Kreshik, the catcher, and part of the heart of this team. And he swings at the first pitch, foul down the third baseline.
And he got opened up with another off-speed pitch to start his at-bat.
You know, there's really a strategy here, George. A lot of times the kids just get out there and throw, but Haverstraw, they've got a plan. And it looks as if this plan just may work. It's still, they're 3 outs away from heading to Bristol, Connecticut. And we now have a 2-1 count on the batter, Rowan Kreshik, Twintown catcher. And he swings at a pitch outside and low. Upset with himself that he did, but he slams his bat on home plate and he's ready to go again. Pops one up behind second base, and the second baseman, Gabe Reyes, he grabs that one a little off balance, but there's one down in the top of the 6th here in Penfield.
Yeah, so Casada opened him up with a curveball, threw fastballs until he got another strike on him, then came back with a curveball.
Now up to bat is Mr. Flanagan. He wears the number 0 for Twintown. Declan is his first name. He played second base earlier in the game, and he is now coming back into the game. Gabby Geis played 2 innings in the field, and now Declan will bat. He takes the first pitch as a strike, and now he's in the hole, 0-2.
And Casada once again opened with a curveball and then came back with a fastball.
Casada looks like he could walk out on any Major League Baseball team and pitch. A very well-built, muscular player, as Flanagan hits one down the first baseline, but it's foul as number 21, Fabry for Haverstraw, picks that up in foul territory just in front of first base umpire Charlie Welling.
Let's see if he's going to plan on gassing him up here.
So we've got an 0-2 count on Declan Flanagan, the Twintown second baseman. Where's the number 0? Bats from the right-hand side of the plate. And Casada in his motion, and he deals a little bit low. Catcher Jeff Diaz not too happy with that. He framed that perfectly, trying to give umpire a little bit better look, but not going to happen. And another one, off-speed pitch on the outside corner for Mr. Flanagan, and we now move to a 2-2 count. The pitch hit sharply to second base, and Reyes, he takes for the second out of the inning as he throws it over to Fabry for a 4-3 out. And now looks as if Twintown is down to one of their last out. And for Twintown, number 10, Connell Devine, is going to bat. 2 outs in the inning. Once again, George starts him off with a breaking pitch.
He definitely has his game plan, and it's working for him.
Connell Devine was hit by a pitch in back in the second inning. And now we've got a 1-1 count. It's the top of the sixth inning. Haverstraw in the lead, 4-1. They're the home team. As we've got a close one, but it's a ball right on the inside corner. And we're looking to see what's going to happen with this next pitch from Asada's now thrown a couple of balls in a row. And he takes a little walk behind the mound to settle himself, but I think he's probably a little bit more upset with the umpire for the call. So we've got twos across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the sixth inning. This pitch could, in fact, be it. And it is. Strike 3. And Haverstraw is your New York State champions with a 4-1 victory over Twin Town. And I tell you what, when they say the heartbreak of defeat, just take a look at these kids from Twin Town. You hate to see a team lose, you really do, especially in this tournament. And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful tournament. Congratulations to both teams, and in fact, congratulations to all 8 teams that were here in Penfield for the New York State Championship. Congratulations to Haverstraw and manager Jason Fabry. He'll be moving his team. The club will move down to Bristol, Connecticut, and they will be taking on Maryland in their first round game, which will be played next Sunday and can be seen on ESPN from Bristol, Connecticut. George, wrap up. What's your thoughts not only of this game but the entire tournament?
So Haverstraw came in and they looked like the toughest team in the tournament, and they proved that. They're going to have an opener in the Mid-Atlantic versus whomever the Maryland champion is. Twin Town, to me, was a very good baseball team. They played great defense. Their pitching was phenomenal. It's their offensive lapses throughout the tournament that provided that was their undoing. However, taking a look in the left field right now as the whole team, coaches included, are in a big hug. That's what it's really all about. These boys are never going to forget this moment, and they're never going to forget what we brought to them here at Penfield Little League. And I'll tell you what, year 1 of 3 is a success. I cannot wait to see what we can bring next year and the following.
Absolutely, George. It's been a pleasure to host this tournament. A lot of hard work has gone into it from the board of Penfield Little League and a lot of the sponsors and even volunteers. And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for these kids and even for Penfield Little League, as a lot of our fans came out to watch the games. You know, when we look at it, this tournament started on Tuesday with the first round of games, and you know, we were with 8 teams, and those those 8 teams, you know, we had obviously Twin Town, and we had St. James Smithtown, South Shore and Whitestown, Oceanside, Webster, Vestal, and of course your New York State champion Haverstraw. They started this with 8 teams, and now we got down to 1 state champion. The players had the opportunity to go to a Red Wings game and meet the players, and they got to meet two of the players from the Red Wings who played in the Little League World Series, and that was quite the opportunity. They also had the Home Run Derby, which the catcher for Haverstraw, Jeff Diaz, won that. They had a big cookout, and that was their off day, and now we're back here for the ceremonies to wrap up this tournament and crown the New York State champion. So for George Chalupas, I'm Greg Camp. We thank you for watching and listening to us all tournament long, and stay right with us because there'll be live coverage of the ceremony and the crowning of Haverstraw as the New York State champions for Little League on to the regionals. Thanks, everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Penfield Little League and our board of directors and all our volunteers, we want to thank you for being wonderful fans, and we hope that you enjoyed your time here in Penfield. We're going to be here for 2 more years as we are the host site for the state championship, and we would love to see all of you back here again. Twin Town, You guys played a fantastic tournament. As your talent, your discipline, your coaching was absolutely stellar. Your sportsmanship, probably one of the classiest teams that I've seen come through Little League in a long, long time. I know it's difficult, but you will remember this. You won't remember the score. You may not even remember that you lost, but what you're going to remember is everything you did here this week and your accomplishments, and don't ever forget those. This is what Little League is about. Haverstraw, what can we say? You guys came into this thing. You were powerful. You were very, very strategic in your game. You guys knew exactly what you were doing at every single moment, and you were impressive. And you are now the New York State champions, moving on to Bristol, Connecticut. At this time, we would like players will be called up individually, and they will be met out here by Tom Baxter, our wonderful tournament director who ran this thing, and also Ken Liesegang, who is our district administrator for New York District 4. So when your name is called, please come on out here and get your medal. So Twin Town, here we go.
Number 12, Jack Sharon. Number 10, Connell Devine. Number 0, Declan Flanagan. Number 42, James Kinsella. Number 18, Ethan Nardacci. Number 7, Gabby Geis. Number 24, Cam Van Sleet. Number 11, Tim Koval. Number 14, Cole Mellon. Number 34, Wyatt Relier. Number 8, Ronan Kreshik. And number 99, Landon Mullen. And the coaches from Twin Town, John Flanagan and John Mellon. And the manager, Mr. Owen Devine.
Once again, to a very, very classy team with high sportsmanship, character, and loyalty. Let's hear it one more time for the kids from Twin Town.
And now to introduce the New York State champion, Haverstraw. Number 22, Nick Becker. Number 24, Jeff Diaz. Number 10, Gabe Reyes.
Just a side note on Gabe. If baseball doesn't work out for you, he's already going to become a chauffeur.
You've heard of driving Miss Daisy? Well, this is driving Mr. Baxter.
Number 20, Jaden Casada. Number 7, Jaden Torres. Number 13, JJ Alivo. Number 21, Nick Fabry. Number 11, Joe Saviano. Number 18, Josue Santana. Number 2, Jacob Niero. Number 3, Mike Gizzi. Number 16, Jack McCardle. And number 4, Matt Odenbach. The coaches for Haverstraw, Brian Riley and Jeff Becker. And the manager, Mr. Jason Fabry.
All right, so Haverstraw, here's what we need to do for the official stuff, okay? We're going to give you something that you got to carry around. But before you run around the field with it, Williamsport says we need to have a picture. So we're going to have to get a picture first, all right? But why don't you guys come on out here and get something called your state championship banner. All right, guys, turn around and let Tim, our photographer, get you, go right behind home plate. Parents, these packets are for the Haverstraw parents. These packets are from Williamsport, which explains everything on your way to Bristol.
Coaches, can I have you towards the end? The manager in the middle? Sure. Yeah, manager, if you want to go right here.
Haverstraw, you guys will be playing, as it looks right now on the schedule, you will be playing Sunday against Maryland in the first round. 4 o'clock game.
Gentlemen, first 3 shots, looking at me, eyes to me. There's no parents behind me, okay? Just to me, perfect. Although we're missing that one gentleman there. Yep, spread out just a little bit more, gentlemen. And there we go, good, good, good. Again, gentlemen, eyes to me. Looking good. 2 more times, eyes up here. Good smiles. Parents, go have fun. Come on, Nick, get in there.
Smile back you now.
One last thing to add very, very
quickly, but very importantly also, we've been blessed this week not only with great weather, but also great ball games, great sportsmanship, and a phenomenal tournament staff and facilities. So let's give a big round of applause to Penfield for hosting. All those guys in those orange sherbet shirts, that's a beautiful fashion statement for you guys. It's all good.
Twin Town, hop in there.
Gentlemen, why don't you spread out a little bit so we can mix you guys together, okay? Good, a couple more guys down here. Yep. Looking good. Very good, guys. Again, eyes to me again. 3 times, Red. That's it. Looking good. 2 more. Nice smile. Up there. 1, 2, in. 3 times. You guys good? Hey.
Gentlemen, one more thing, please. This gentleman here in the orange shirt has given his lifeblood to this tournament. He has worked tirelessly since we got the bid a year ago. Please give a round of applause to our president, Greg Camp. Thank you.
Excuse me. Can I just say one thing? Because he won't say anything. The guy that just announced Mr. Camp, his name is Tom Baxter. And I've been involved myself with Penfield Little League for 30 years. I think he's been here 50. So the man that will take no credit for anything is the gentleman with the hat, the P on his hat, and the white shirt. He's a tribute to Little League baseball. And without him, it would not be like this in Penfield. Thank you, Tom Baxter.